Can Happen Friday. The art and cultural side of Southeast Asia.
Every generation has a defining fight. The kind of battle that leaves an indelible imprint on history. A primal display of courage and athleticism. It proves all men are equal. It's the perception of good versus evil on a different battlefield. The victor becomes a hero that transcends race. It's the bruiser versus the butterfly, two proud champions forcing the world to choose sides. If time creates a fighter, circumstance creates a phenomenon. Every era spawns its own heroes, the right fit for the times in which they fight. Larger-than-life personalities that take the sport to new heights. But with every peak, there is a valley. And for years, we've wandered the open road, seeking our fight that will live forever. At no time in human history have fans had a louder voice. And they used that voice to demand that this century's two top attractions meet in the center of the ring. After 5 long years and a chance encounter, lightning has finally struck. And now, we await the thunder.
Our goal is to give the fans a good fight.
The biggest fight in boxing history. And I'm a part of it, so.
Floyd Mayweather versus Manny Pacquiao. This generation's defining fight is finally here.
Good morning, welcome back to DurianASEAN. You are at Anything Can Happen Friday, and this is Grace.
Hi, this is Gowri.
So we have very special guests today, and they're brothers, and we actually waited for them to come to our studio to talk about all aspects of a lot of things, from music, boxing, entertainment, and perhaps the health style. Right, so we have brother Ariff AB and Aiman AB in our house.
Hello.
So let's say good morning.
Hi, good morning everyone.
Thank you for coming in and joining us so early on a Friday.
It's very early.
Yes. And I hope you guys are awake.
Yeah, very, very early.
So you two are boxing enthusiasts, right?
Yep.
Or boxers.
So of course, the reason we invited you guys to the studio is because of what happened just last week. The fight of the century, the Mayweather-Pacquiao, which a lot of people probably were just bandwagon watchers who didn't have much of a clue about boxing. So before we go into that, maybe we can start with introduction to boxing, and maybe Aiman can start. Give us a little background to yourself and how you got into boxing.
Okay. We came from a boxing family background.
Okay.
Our mother, she was a big Muhammad Ali fan.
Wow.
So growing up, she was like, "Hey, why don't you try to fight like Muhammad Ali or have the Muhammad Ali style?"
And how old were you then?
We were, I don't know, really young.
Oh.
Really young. And Ariff and I, we grew up watching Rocky.
Okay. I guess we all did.
So I've always wanted to be a boxer. I've always wanted to have that Rocky style, that underdog. But you know, you have the heart and courage to
So go for it.
Go for it, and beat the odds. Yeah.
But why boxing out? Because we have there are so many sports, isn't it? And then I know you are heavily influenced by your mother, but didn't you want to explore yourself into any other sports rather than boxing?
Well, growing up in Malaysia, boxing, it's not a big sport. It's not the number one sport in Malaysia, which is why early in my career, I started as a professional football player before this.
Right.
Yeah.
So you have another friend here.
Hello.
Gowri.
But what was it about boxing that you think sets it apart from other sports? What's so special about it?
Well, boxing, to me, it's the art of confrontation.
Okay.
It's like it's a sport where you can measure yourself. You can see how hard you put the work in during training and the results you see after. And like boxing, they've always compared it as the metaphor of life. It's like, they have the saying, it's not how hard you hit, it's about how hard you can get hit and keep moving forward, the quote from Rocky. So that is something that intrigues me. It's something that I want to measure myself.
So it's all about playing with your mindset, train your mindset, and then also testing yourself. After all, your patience, your work throughout the hard training work. Well, let's ask your brother, Ariff. How about you? Is it because of your brother, or is it because of your mother?
Well, both of us share the same interest because we start things with football, and it's all about hard work, and the transition is a bit different because he continued to play football and then he decided to be a professional boxer, which he didn't have a chance to pursue back then. And then for me, it's like from this sport to a more sentimental piece, which is music.
I see.
So we kind of help each other where, okay, and Aiman's trading, so why don't I just have like his
different
training
elements.
his training, and then I sometimes just like train with him or just sit by the side, just want to like write songs or something. But it comes in the same same path where it's all about mental strength, I guess. That's the reason why we do boxing.
So you do boxing as well?
Yeah,
together.
but it's not as the training level is not as high as his.
So maybe Aiman can tell us more about boxing in the Malaysian context. Are people generally open to the sport, or are they still like, oh, it's a very guy thing, very I probably get hurt, get injured? What's the perception about boxing in Malaysia?
Or do they really accept the sports as in sports itself, or more like violent sports, that kind of
People. If we have a proper platform for boxing and we commercialize it, people will be into boxing. I mean in the Western places or even Central Asia, women, they practice the sport of boxing. They see it as an art. And I think if we promote boxing in Malaysia and we show the different side, the classy side, the art of boxing, people might get into it. People might love it.
But for now, it's not so much up to expectation how boxing should be promoted, is it?
Yeah.
In Malaysia.
Yeah.
How big is the community for people who wants to do boxing in Malaysia?
Right now the boxing scene in Malaysia is really small. I mean, even for the competitive level, it's very small. It's only close to the military. It's so it's not commercialized friendly. It's like people are, when they think of boxing, they kind of afraid of it because it sounds more serious and people but yeah.
How about we go furthermore to the Southeast Asia region, because you often visit the Philippines, and how is the scene there so different from Malaysia?
Okay. Like in Malaysia boxing, they concentrate more on amateur boxing. Amateur boxing is the one you see on Olympics, SEA Games, Asia Games. So they focus more on amateur boxing, but Southeast Asia countries like Philippines, Thailand, they focus on the professional scene, on the world scene. So they produce so many world champions. So they are more to the professional side of the game. They don't compete in the amateur level.
So that means those people, champions, they are also heavily supported by the government as well.
Yeah. At first they started as individual, private, but after they get a few success, and then the government comes in.
But is there a reason why Malaysia focuses on amateur boxing?
I actually have no idea.
Okay.
I actually have no idea because Malaysia, I feel they should focus more on the professional scene. but
it's not happening.
They have not found talent. And then you should stay in Malaysia to dig more, to go for the Malaysian scene.
I mean, there's a lot of saying that in Malaysia, the number one sport is football. So most of the budget goes to sports like football. And boxing, it's being sidelined. And there's no development program for the youth. But they're trying to build it now. But yeah, they're still I think a long way to go compared to the other Asian countries.
Perhaps let's talk a little bit more about boxing scene in Malaysia. What are the things that we need to consider when it comes to boxing? As in, like, is there any age limits, or what are the precautions that we need to consider?
Age limit, I think
anyone can.
I mean, like other countries, like in America and England, they started as young as 6 years old. Yeah, 6 years old, and then they have a development program till the under 18s, under 18s, under 21s, and then open. In Malaysia, the precautions you have to take, I mean, you have to be in the sport for maybe at least two years, maybe, to practice the sport, so you know how to take care of yourself in the ring.
Also the stamina-wise, isn't it?
Also the stamina-wise. And it's very advisable to actually prepare yourself, not just physically, but mentally before you step in the ring. Because once you're in the ring, it's a different world. Anything can happen.
We would like to know more about the benefits of boxing. Perhaps Ariff, because you've been boxing for some time or two. So what are the benefits? You can come from a mentality, or even the physics. Physical side of it.
Well, the benefits just like, one, you can know yourself better. Yeah, you can just like see what you can do, what you can't do, and sometimes like you know yourself way better than anybody else, because say for example, if you want to do something, then you do have the heart. But boxing kind of like push you to the limit, to the point where you know that there is something that you want to chase for example. And then also mental strength counts, and also was that your physical, I guess, like sometimes like that boxing, it comes with weight, I guess, so some people just do it as cardio based. So you want to lose weight or you want to gain strength, something like that,
So let's put all our listeners to put themselves in the ring now. So how is it like when you're in the ring? Because you said it's totally different from the training yourself and you put yourself in the ring.
When you're on the ring, all eyes is on you. I mean, every step you make, your opponent is looking at you, is focusing on you. Every step you make, and I mean, like, if you think about it, it's kind of scary. The fear of another man practicing for maybe 2 months, 6 months, to get your, to defeat you, to injure you, to hurt you, to knock you out. So that's always a scary thought. And if you get two men who's gone through struggles of training, of preparing themselves for just one fight, that's always a scary thought. So that's where that's why it's really scary in the ring.
And then how long is each fight? Or should I put it fight or
it's 3 minutes a round. So for the amateurs, it's 3 rounds of 3 minutes, and if you go to the finals, it's 4 rounds of 3 minutes. In the professional scene, if you just started your career, you go from 4 rounds to 6 rounds to 8 rounds to 10 rounds, and if you're fighting for a world title, it's 12 rounds. But it's all 3 minutes a round.
Wow. So how do they keep themselves up in terms of stamina if you have 12 rounds of 3 minutes, right? Yeah, because you have to really keep you have to really know yourself to keep your stamina consistent throughout the whole 12 rounds.
Yep.
So and that's really a challenge.
That is a challenge.
It depends on the fight, though.
Depends on the fight.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. It's that's why, like, they say boxing matches are won in the gym. So during training, you give the best. You give the extra mile of running. Let's say you're running 10 kilometers and you really want to win this fight. You add another mile to it.
Wow.
So that's how you challenge yourself. You train 12 rounds of hitting the back. You continue. I mean, you add another 2 more rounds. That's how you practice. You push yourself. You push yourself. Every day is actually a room for improvement. So training is really tough.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll take a short break, and then when we come back, perhaps this time we'll talk about the real fight that we watched last week.
Anything can happen Friday. The art and cultural side of Southeast Asia.
Welcome back to Anything Can Happen Friday. You're still with Grace.
And this is Gowri.
And also AB Brothers here in the house.
Hi.
So Gowri, do you have any questions regarding the fight that we recently watched?
Yes, considering the fact that a lot of people that saw the fight were, I would say, bandwagoners, if I may use that term. So maybe we can start with a little history or just a little quick facts for our listeners or people who don't really know much about boxing. Why was this match such a big deal? What was the relationship between Pacquiao and Mayweather?
Well, it dates all the way back to today's generation. I mean, boxing, it has always been around since the late 1800s or 1700s, right? So every generation, there's always one significant, prominent figure in that generation. You have Muhammad Ali.
Yeah.
Muhammad Ali, who is that? Sugar Ray Leonard, Roberto Duran, Julio Cesar Chavez, those prominent figures. So every generation, these idols, they have a rival. They have a certain nemesis.
It's like a superhero and a villain.
And in a very long time, there's not been a boxer as influential as both Manny Pacquiao and Floyd Mayweather. But the best part about this generation is they have two of the best boxers in history in the same generation, and competing in the same era.
And it was after 6 years, right? If I'm not mistaken.
6 years.
So I'm curious to know when you say they are the best boxers of the generation, on what grounds do you say that they are the best? Each of them.
Okay.
I know Mayweather. He never lost before.
Well, it's the reason why they call the best one is both of them have two different type of styles.
Can you elaborate that?
Meaning
How
that,
are they different?
Mayweather is like he masters in defense. Pacquiao masters in offense.
Right.
So the reason why people want to see it because they say that Pacquiao can and Pacquiao throws a lot of punches, like 40 punches,
like 1,000
in a minute or something. Yeah.
Okay.
So and Mayweather, he's known with his shoulder rolls, which kind of like keep all the offense from hitting him. And I mean,
like what's special is like the best defensive fighter in this generation against the best offensive fighter.
Wow.
Because Manny Pacquiao knocks opponents out from his early career till today. He's rated one of the best offensive. He comes, he throws, he knocks opponents out. Floyd Mayweather, on the other hand, he's a very good defensive fighter. He can block shots from any angle. So he makes you miss, he makes you pay. He makes you miss, he makes you pay. It's a smart way of boxing, and a lot of people cannot do how Floyd Mayweather does.
Right. Yeah. So that's why these two people from different colors, and then they're on the same ring fighting. That's when it got really a lot of hyped.
Yeah, and his personality as well. Like Mayweather, if you've seen the video, he has a different lifestyle, and money is important to him. Pacquiao is all about the people, so that's what intrigues the fight as well. Yeah.
And also, Ariff, you were telling me earlier that people were waiting to see these two people go up against each other in the same ring because they are two of the greatest fighters. But for so long, after all these years, they have never actually been in a circumstance where they had to face each other. So that's another thing that also made it such an awaited match. So do you think that it served its purpose? Was the match satisfying?
Well, for me, the fight supposed to be done like 5 years ago when they were young. Yeah, when they were young, it was much interesting than now.
Right.
It's not now. It's just more of it's timing. You know, Mayweather really wants it to be like a perfect timing where both of them at the end of their careers, both of them are like superstars now. And the reason why this fight has not been made is because of the negotiations. Because both of them are like A-class fighters.
Right.
So they need to kind of allocate whether, you know, like who's going to be the B side on that night, and who's going to be like take all the, you know, like percentage and stuff. So as you can see, Mayweather is the A side, and Pacquiao just, you know, like just fight. But one thing about doing that is that it's a one-sided thing. Yeah, even, you know, Pacquiao having trouble like maybe like getting what he always gets before the fight, which is a numb injection for his yeah, but he probably, like, you know, in other fights as well, he needs to kind of take care of his health and stuff. But Mayweather is smart because it's all about timing for him. Yeah.
Like a lot of people saying that Mayweather, he always plays really smart, and it looks like he really does carry out his smartness in the ring also.
There's a lot of saying that Floyd Mayweather is undefeated till today because he's a very good businessman. He chooses his opponent at the right time for him.
So he chose Pacquiao at the right time too.
At the right time. He wouldn't want to face Manny Pacquiao 5 years ago when Manny Pacquiao was on his peak, at his peak.
And Pacquiao didn't take risks for this fight. He might take risks last
5 years ago.
Wow.
So yeah, it's all about timing in boxing.
It's all about timing.
And maybe you guys can elaborate a little bit about the strategy as well, because there were a lot of comments saying that Mayweather was more running away from Pacquiao, and
and with that, can you also explain further in the scoring how the scoring actually calculated?
Works,
Okay. The name of the game of boxing is actually hit and not get hit.
Right.
So that's I can see why Floyd Mayweather he approached that game plan, like hitting Manny Pacquiao and then moving away, ducking his shots, avoiding his shots, because we could see when Manny Pacquiao and Floyd Mayweather stands in front of Manny Pacquiao, he gets hurt. He gets hurt with Manny Pacquiao's shot. So he was not trying to take the risk and not trying to get hurt. So hit Manny Pacquiao and then move. Hit Manny Pacquiao and move. It's the smart way to fight for Mayweather, but it's not good for us because we're watching it and it's not entertaining.
Yeah, he's like playing safe because it says there is like one of the most expensive fight,
right?
And everybody's like waiting for it and stuff. And then you give like a fight where you see Floyd running, you know. So there's a lot of memes saying that Floyd ran to the bank, you know, like whatever, you know, that kind of stuff, right?
So what was Pacquiao's strategy actually?
Well, Pacquiao, like they have a strategy, like to come in. I think the coach Ferry Roach knows what he Pacquiao can do, but just that night, Pacquiao seem a bit, safe. Like he didn't, became like the animal that he used to be,
Okay.
Yeah.
And why do you think he was like that?
Because one thing about Pacquiao, he's small, but every single time, when he sits at the corner or he prays, and that's when he knows that he is in a situation where he needs to win. So he's a bit like dangerous, like when you fight with him, he's an offensive fighter, and then he will destroy you and stuff like that. He has that kind of like beast in him, But that night it was just more of a, an old Pacquiao. So yeah, he's just
for us, we've been following Manny Pacquiao's career since the start, and it didn't look like the old Manny Pacquiao, like the usual Manny Pacquiao. Yeah. But recently there's reports saying that Manny Pacquiao injured his shoulder before the fight, and he didn't want to postpone the fight, so he just carried on with an injured shoulder. I'm not sure if it's true, but
do you think that's the part of the reason?
Yeah, it's a reason.
Not sure.
Yeah, because it's boxing, because Pacquiao is a great fighter, in and out the ring, And if you watch the fight against Marquez when he got knocked out cold, right? And I still feel that affects Pacquiao till now. That's why he's keeping it safe, keeping it smart in the ring, compared to last time when he fought, he just go in straight. And if he knocks the guy out, he knocks the guy out. But because of that one fight that knocked him out, and he kind of changed his game plan.
Right.
Okay.
And not he throws a lot of punches, but not as brutal as before. So yeah,
sounds like he's very daring person.
Yeah, he
in
is,
the ring. Yeah.
Because he's the kind of guy that has come from a very coconut home,
I read a story about him, and it's very it saddened me for a while. How he was brought up, and for that he really tried himself to support his family.
Yeah.
So in the beginning of Manny Pacquiao's career, he was earning $2 a fight. A fight. That's 100 peso a fight. So that shows how how poor he was, and there was a situation where they had no food, and the father ate his dog.
Oh no!
Yeah.
So it was up to that extreme.
Yeah. So boxing was a way out for him, out of poverty, and that's a way out of poverty. And he had no natural talent in boxing, but his heart brought him to where he is today.
And what about Mayweather? It seems that his nickname is Money. So maybe you guys can tell us how that came about.
If I'm not mistaken, I read a little bit about Mayweather as well. He's not also from rich family. He slept with his brothers, 6 or 5 brothers in the same room, and then he also wanted to make boxing as his career to support his family.
Yeah. Because one thing about Mayweather, he comes from Michigan, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, before he went up to Vegas. So when he was fighting, he came from a boxing family.
Family.
So they kind of their family really master a recipe to master defense, right? They practice every single day, so their training's a bit different.
So it's in his gene already.
But Mayweather, the difference between Mayweather and Pacquiao is that Pacquiao went professional straight.
It's in 1998, when Manny Pacquiao was 16 years old, he went to professional. When Floyd Mayweather was 16 years old, he was still fighting in amateurs.
Yeah, so that's the difference. You can see the techniques where, last time Mayweather, he was in the amateur league, and then he, joined for Olympics and stuff, right? Yeah, he got 3rd in Olympics. So he has the technique. So Pacquiao is more of a, a will and determination. That's all he has. And it's just God protecting him in the ring. That's what he believes, So, I think Mayweather, he comes from that side, and then he progressed to become world champion, which I find very interesting because it's 2 different lifestyle. Yeah, I don't hate Mayweather, I don't hate Pacquiao, so I like both of them. Yeah, it's
exactly. So how about scoring? Could you elaborate more on the scoring in the ring?
Scoring in boxing, it's called a 10-point must system. Judges, at the end of every round, judges will reward each boxer's the winner a 10 point, and the loser a 9. If there's a knockdown involved, then the winner will get 10 points.
Another 10 points.
I will get 10 points, and the one who got knocked down got 8 points. So at the end of the 12 rounds, they will total up all of the scorecards, and that's how we saw the 117 to 118 to, and judges they categorize scoring. There's 4 points in scoring: effective aggression, ring generalship, defensive.
Who is the active fighter? That's how they score. Yeah.
That's a simple way to say it.
Yeah.
Right.
It's not like amateur. They really count that kind of stuff, how many you landed and stuff. But here in boxing, now, because it's entertainment, it's an entertainment sport, it's how effective you are in the ring. If you don't do anything, you lose points, even though you didn't get hit. You know, it's always like that. Yeah.
Okay. What are some of the jargons, maybe, or some of the technical terms that people should be familiar with while they're watching boxing?
Effective. The jargons.
Perhaps even the terms that you mentioned just now. Like,
effective aggression. The person who is initiating the action, who is showing that he is controlling the ring, controlling the fight. Defensive, the person who is avoiding most of the punches and landing more. Ring generalship is the person who controls the ring, like the first one. And jabs is the leading hand. It's a punch in boxing. It's called the jab. So judges will score the jab because the jab plays an important role in a fight. It shows how the fighter measure the distance of his distance and the opponent. And
what are the other technical terms, like uppercut or one I know small?
Then after that, right hook, left hook. It depends, you know. Like sometimes, like for example, like if you're a southpaw, you have and you can play with angles also.
Right.
Yeah. It's like sometimes like some boxers they're really good. Like Pacquiao, he's really good at angles with angles. So he kind of like make an awkward stand so that fighters would be like, he punched you with a jab, and he give you a right hook with like, you know.
So angles is like where you position yourself.
So
it's like the key to success in boxing is actually not fighting in a straight line. Fighting in a straight line, it's actually fighting in an angle where you can hit your opponent without your opponent hitting you back because the angle is awkward.
Wow, that sounds very tricky.
Very tricky.
If you get to master it, you'll be like, one of the best.
You will know all about that.
Exactly, yeah. And also in boxing, if say defense wise, if you there's this fighter called Julio Chavez, right? He's like 89-0 before he got his first defeat.
89 wins, 0 loss.
Yeah, before he gets his first defeat.
Oh my goodness.
Nowhere close and to Mayweather's record, you know.
Exactly.
So he one thing about boxing is that you can defend however you want, but he can go as low as possible, but you just cannot touch your knee to the ground.
Oh, you can't.
Yeah, because or else you'll count as a knockdown. Yeah, so sometimes boxers can just like squat.
But they can't really put their knees on the ground.
It's pretty interesting. There's some boxers have different techniques, you know, of like.
So why not we take another short break here, and when we return, we're going to talk more about the match, Fight of Century with AB Brothers.
Anything can happen Friday. The art and cultural side of Southeast Asia.
Floyd Mayweather, Manny Pacquiao, May 2nd, the fight that the whole world's been waiting to see. I think it's going to be a sensational fight. I really do. What I'm looking for is Mayweather's defense so that, you know, Manny can't hit him. Floyd with that shoulder roll, he raises that right shoulder. It's hard to hit him on the jaw. Manny Pacquiao, on the other hand, is a southpaw who's always turning it. He turns it to the right, turns it to the left.
There was an amazing piece of footwork by Pacquiao, who moved to 3 or 4 different places while Marquez was standing still.
He's got a good right jab, he's got a good right hook. You know, southpaws lead with their right hand, and Manny Pacquiao is very good at it. He's got a very good straight left.
A sensational straight left cross by Manny Pacquiao.
So Floyd's going to have to fight a good defensive fight. On the other hand, Floyd's a very good offensive fighter. Floyd can punch.
Cotto is staggered by that uppercut. There's another left uppercut for Mayweather.
He wants to show the world that he's a better fighter than Manny Pacquiao. It's a hard fight, a really hard fight to predict the winner. Everybody's been talking about this fight for so long. People just want to see the two of them get it on. Nobody wants to miss this one.
Welcome back to DurianASEAN, the voice of discovery and sharing. You're still with us at Anything Can Happen Friday with AB Brothers. So Gowri, you've got questions to AB Brothers here.
There have been talks about a rematch as well, and do you see that happening? And should it happen? Should it not?
They're gonna make more money. Because the rematch is always like they create like something where Pacquiao injured his shoulder, right? Maybe it's true, maybe it's not, but that's just boxing. Because boxing, you don't know what's gonna happen in training. This time, I think they're gonna make a better fight, which can make like a good deal from the first fight. Like like real promoters, they're very smart of market it.
Right.
It might be possible because the first fight didn't live up to expectations. So I think
I heard a lot of people were saying they were a bit disappointed by watching the match.
The one thing it's good because of this rematch is that they can redeem Mayweather, because Mayweather is discredited now. Everybody's saying that he. Nobody's looking at his wins against Pacquiao.
Yeah.
So everybody loves Pacquiao. And
the people's champ.
People's champ, right? But Mayweather, he's like, oh, give me some credit, But now people remember as a runner. So that's the reason why he was like, immediately, there's this news saying that he texted, instead of enjoying his victory, he texted one of his advisors saying that I will fight him within a year after his surgery.
Well, that's another challenge then.
And also like recently, I think yesterday, I was texting my Philippine boxing friends, right? So I was telling them how sad I was because Manny Pacquiao lost the fight, and I was so disappointed. And then they told me that, hey, Aiman, you don't have to be sad because Manny Pacquiao won. So to the Filipinos, Manny Pacquiao won.
Wow, that's really something.
Yeah, because they felt that Mayweather was running the whole time.
So even though the match was concluded as Mayweather won, but then Filipinos, they still read the Pacquiao's heart. And
it's true, because Pacquiao came to fight, Mayweather came to just survive. So it's for us, like, for all the boxing fans, it's not a good fight because it is a very, very boring fight, because to see some guy that Pacquiao is in and out fighter, Mayweather is a defensive fighter, right? Pacquiao hates runners. Mayweather, he just, he hates the offensive. He hates the offensive fighter. So, because like before Pacquiao, there was this fighter called Marcos Maidana, and he was the closest of beating Mayweather. I think Mayweather lost a tooth, right? He lost a tooth. There's one punch where Mayweather, if you see slow motion, the tooth just came out.
Wow.
Yeah, it means how hard that guy punched.
Wow.
And a lot of people say that Pacquiao will do that. Will hurt Mayweather, will dismantle Mayweather, but it turned out differently. So that's the reason why Mayweather is like shows good sportsmanship, saying that, you know what, I'll fight Pacquiao again.
Right.
Yeah. It's for the people,
Then we're looking forward to seeing another match soon then within this year.
So what's next for the boxing scene? Any other big fights coming up to look out for?
This weekend, Canelo against Kirkland again.
Yeah, this weekend.
But it's very it comes with like fighters generation and stuff. So it's, to me, I think it's all about promoting your fight.
Right.
If you promote,
because this one was too hyped up that the next coming match, not many people are aware of it.
True. Yeah.
So this Sunday, Canelo, upcoming Mexican fighter.
He lost to Mayweather as well.
He lost to Mayweather as well.
Yeah. His first defeat.
But he is, and he's known, and he's recognized by everyone to be the next superstar to take over.
Really? So we've been talking a lot about the match and the boxing, the spirit, and with AB Brothers here at DurianASEAN. I was just thinking shortly, why not Ariff create us music, out of inspiration from this match that you watched?
Write a song about boxing.
I do have a couple of songs about boxing.
Okay.
Yeah, it's like Black and Blue and stuff, and I think as an individual, like how I do things, it's not about like the music line that much, It's all about like mental strength. So I think that's the reason why I got it from boxing, because it's just I fear no man who breathes the same air as I do, kind of thing. It's something like that. Like you cannot like say rejection. You take rejection well. You take criticism well. You train a lot of stuff well. Blah blah. But yeah, I think music and boxing. That's the reason why we
bonded.
Yeah, we
sort of related to each other, surprisingly.
And he works out using my song.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Whenever I'm training and whenever I don't want to hear anything from the coaches, from the team, because I'm very cranky, I'm very angry, right? The coaches will play Ariff's music.
Oh, that's really sweet.
Yeah, to motivate me to fight. Fight
that's
the pain.
Your brother makes songs. Go for it.
There's one time when I was like writing one song, and it was his look. That time he was fighting in Sabah, right? We went to Sabah. So I was in the corner. I was at the corner, and before the fight, I was like that to actually like, Aiman, like there's no fight for this, fight for that, for this. And he walks in the ring, and before the bell ring, he was just looking at me because he knows he's gonna be lonely inside. So
I see a little like small drama there.
And I just want to add on boxing. If you see most boxers, they like to outside the ring, they like to surround themselves with a lot of people. Because and friends and family. Because most boxers, they're all family men. They love their family and kids. Because once you're in the ring, is the loneliest place in the world.
Right. Because you're alone with the opponent.
And you're like going into the unknown, not knowing what to expect. So that's why I surround myself with my family a lot.
Looks like AB Brothers just took us to another journey in the boxing world.
Another thing is journey.
So, anything you want to say to the budding boxers out there?
You start first.
If you guys are a huge boxing fan, I suggest you guys should start looking into boxing and because it's a very fun sport, and I think there's a lot of benefits to it.
And in fact, you're flying to the Philippines soon, and then to train yourself and go for the match, right?
Yep. So like right now, I'm preparing for my professional fight in the Philippines. It'll be end of this month. So
will it be on HBO?
We would love to see you fight
soon.
Actually, from this angle, you kind of look like Manny Pacquiao.
Oh wow! How about Ariff? You have your messages?
Yes. Whatever you want to do it well and do it the best. And if you're training, just don't give up, because boxing doesn't require you to give up. Keep pushing yourself to the limit, to the point where you can't take it. Because when you reach the point where you can't take it, it means that you are ready for anything.
Right.
Yeah, because you take yourself to a different level, to a weight beyond any human's level, whatever. But just do what you can and do the best.
So Gowri, shall we go for a boxing class?
Let's do it.
Right, so that's the end of our interview session, and thank you so much for sharing your experiences and thoughts and also analysis on the match.
Yeah, thank you for helping us understand boxing better.
Thank you guys.
Thank you for having
us.